Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 3 of this year's season of the ESC Daily Show, live from the Eurofan Cafe here in Stockholm. I'm joined today by Giel Beelen from the Netherlands and Daniel Gould. You're a professional gambler at Eurovision. You write for SofaBet. Tell us a little bit about what you do here during these 2 weeks.
It's a very busy and stressful 2 weeks of watching and analysing rehearsals and deciding where to put my money, who to back, who to bet against, and hope that it comes off in the end.
Giel, you're here. You're a radio DJ in the Netherlands, but you're here most of all as the discoverer of Douwe Bob, who reached the final last night. Are you proud of him?
Yeah, well, like the rest of Holland, we're very proud of him. And yeah, I'm very proud of the fact that he took part of the talent show I was hosting, well, now 3 years ago. And I knew he was good, and I saw a star in him. But, well, this big and maybe even bigger, I could only dream about that.
Douwe Bob from the Netherlands qualified last night. Some others qualified as well. Let's take a look at what happened at that first semi-final.
Okay, we're going in here.
It was strong, it was awesome.
It was absolutely amazing. It felt so great to be on stage, and the audience, of course, it makes a huge difference.
It's your second time, is it different?
Totally different, totally different.
Oh my God, energy is amazing. People are amazing. We are very emotional. We are coming back after 3 years.
And we are so proud.
In this beautiful, big family. We love you!
Only one left.
This is so exciting.
Yes. I don't know what to do. The 10th finalist from tonight is Malta!
Congratulations!
Malta through, and Iceland and Bosnia-Herzegovina out, and also Greece. Daniel Gould, that's 2 countries with a 100% track record that are now out of the final. It's almost hard to imagine a final without them.
Yeah, I mean, we have had one precedent for this in 2011 when Turkey and Armenia didn't qualify from the same semi-final, and that was even more shocking because it was the first time. But I think that actually the fact that Greece didn't qualify wasn't so surprising. Bosnia a little more so. I think people were more surprised at Iceland's non-qualification after the performance yesterday.
Giel, did you see many of the performances last night, or were you?
Yeah, I saw them all. It was my first time sitting there in the audience. It was great. Yeah.
What did you think about it?
About the
show,
environment?
the performance.
Yeah, I loved it. Of course, it's really nice to see how fast they should change all the things on stage. That was really nice to see, because when you're sitting watching television, you have no idea. It was a great show. It was really nice to see. Well, besides you, there were people who were standing up because their country was hosting at that moment, and so there was really a friendly environment. And well, of course, there's a lot of talk about Russia, and for me, as a music lover. Well, that's not what the Eurovision Song Festival should be about, because that's like 80% show and 20% music. But well, for the rest of the artists, the music was top.
Daniel, is that still #1 favorite for victory for you, Russia?
It's #1 favorite with the bookmakers, which is where it matters. So Russia's close to even money now, which means bookmakers think it has a 50% chance of winning.
How about you, though?
It's definitely in the mix for me. It got very mixed reactions yesterday. Many did feel that the show did overshadow the song. But there's no doubting that it's slick. It provides Saturday night entertainment, and the song has hooks and is recognizably Eurovision-esque. And sometimes that's enough, especially if you're Sergei Lazarev singing for Russia.
Giel, what was one of the songs besides Douwe Bob that you could play on your radio station that you saw last night?
From last night. Because the first I was thinking about, of course, is the Swedish song.
Yeah, of course.
French, which is a great song, and it's going to be a massive hit on the radio, I think. What will be another radio hit? I don't know, but that's more because I'm hosting in a young, bit alternative station. So
We had a rock band from Cyprus last night, which qualified.
No. To be honest, I don't think we are going to play.
You should check out the Georgia song tomorrow.
Okay.
That might be that's
Okay.
more to that kind of alternative and more genuine, authentic kind of rock sound. I think you'd like it.
Interesting entry. Now that we're talking about that anyway, because Georgia from the beginning has been at very long odds, even to qualify for the final. But we've seen quite positive reactions at this first rehearsal that we've seen over the week. Do you think they'll be in the top 10 on Thursday?
It's coming across really well on the rehearsal feed, and it's a very credible act. It's not very Eurovision-y. I'm going to have it in my 10 qualifiers, even though the bookmakers don't have it in their 10. Of course, the only problem is who it knocks out. It means it's at the expense of someone else, and I have to try and work out who that is. But given the things that are going for it, it's Draw, A Couple of Friends, the fact that it's a niche song, but it's a song with a niche all around Europe. It's a kind of, it sounds very pop rock.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, now I know what you mean.
So I am going to take the risk of having it in my 10 qualifiers, and I have backed it to qualify at nice odds.
So we're talking about real music, about going back to the roots and to the song. This is also a part of the thing that the Netherlands has done. They've changed their strategy over the years quite a lot. How do you feel about the way that Eurovision has progressed in the Netherlands in the last couple of years?
Yeah, because of course I'm willing to say, we Dutchies did it, but I don't think that's the truth, because I think it's now 2 years ago, there were a lot of singer-songwriters. What this year is dance, it was that there's a can of singer-songwriters. So I think it's more like, it's what it's in the charge of that moment, what a country brings in.
And we followed the trends, especially since Anouk took part for the Netherlands in 2013. Let's take a quick look at what the Netherlands did in Eurovision in recent years.
Coming here as an underdog, and now all of a sudden you get 2 awards before the grand final, and we're one of the favorites for the final. I mean,
it's amazing. We're very, very thankful.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience.
Anouk and the Common Linnets overcoming the horrible Dutch track record of 8 years of not qualifying for the Eurovision final. Giel, were you, as one of the people in the Dutch music industry, also involved in this process?
No. Well, like what you said, for Holland, Anouk was really a change maker in this way. But no, it's not the environment I'm working at. So no, they're not asking me.
You were in the jury in 2006, I remember.
Yeah,
in our national final.
But that was not a good thing. Maybe that's the reason why they never asked me again. Because at that moment, I was saying no. There's not any song good enough. So that was a big bummer live on national television. And
turned out to be right though. Treble did not qualify, but we had to wait, I think, 7 years after that before we actually did. Daniel, what are your thoughts on this complete change in strategy in the Netherlands?
I think the Netherlands have helped raise the bar in Eurovision by sending artists like Anouk. I mean, I have lots of American friends who are kind of cynical about the competition, but when I mentioned Anouk, they sat up and they said, "Oh, I know Anouk. Anouk, Anouk, I have her albums." So I think that actually they've helped bring credibility to the contest. And I've loved Anouk's song, I loved the Common Linnet song, and I loved Douwe Bob's song this year as well. And credibility and authenticity and quality does do well at Eurovision. It's a fallacy to think that if you're bringing something credible and good, it's not going to do well, it's going to lose out to something cheesy. That's the opposite is true. The cream generally rises to the top with a couple of exceptions.
Now this year, what do you think that Douwe Bob can achieve in the final now that he's there?
That's a really good question. I have been a long-term backer on the markets of Douwe Bob in all markets. I've been betting on him at nice long odds for top 10, for example, and even top 5. And I'm looking at him being on the sort of the edge of the top 5. So I'm thinking that it's a top 10 performance, solid. Quite where it comes within the top 10, I'm not so sure. I'd like to see that pause kind of get a bigger response from the audience, or I'd like a sing-along or something so it doesn't look quite so awkward. But other than that, he gives, of course, a great performance. He's incredibly charismatic.
Giel, we were at his bar this morning celebrating the spot in the final, and he was saying, "Well, now I'm all in, and now I'm going for victory." You're a better, but he bet on himself to win. Actually, how do you like his attitude, the way he's presenting himself here?
Yeah, that's what I love about him because, well, the whole contest, it's not only about the music, it's about the show, the visuals, and everything. But of course, it's also about how an artist is standing there, and. Well, when you look into his eyes, you see stardom, you see love, you see fun. And yeah, that's what I really like about him. And I think that's really good for this Eurovision thing. And it's not, it's always, yeah, well, down to the ground. It's not, I'm the big star and I'm going to win. It's more like, hey, yeah, I'm here now. So, of course, I'm going for #1. And I think that's the good spirit.
Daniel, bad thing that he drew the first half last night at the press conference?
I think it's a shame. I would have preferred him to draw in the second half. But a song like that will stand out from wherever. It's very distinct in this field. It's, as I say, it's ploughing its own furrow, as a farmer might put it.
But for you, as somebody who, well, pays money for it, is it like a difference between 3 and 7, or...?
Well, for many years, we only had artists with a second half draw, i.e. in the last 50%, winning the contest. But in fact, in the last 2, we've had Mons win from 10 last year out of 27, and before that, Conchita won from 11 out of 26. So there are 2 artists there who have sort of broken that trend and proved that, you know, statistics aren't everything, and if you have something good enough and memorable enough, you can win from an earlier slot.
But are you changing your money?
I'm not on the Netherlands because I think it's a song that stands out from wherever it is. But there would be certain songs for whom, if they got an earlier draw, they would get lost a little bit more. If they kind of have similar songs competing against who come a bit later. But for Douwe, he's on his own in what he's providing. There's nothing like it.
Trends are changing as far as this running order is concerned, not just for the final and for the winner of the contest, but also in the semi-finals. We had the golden rule, but let's take a look at what the draw last night brought.
Second half. Here we go.
He is quite positive. Let's see here the draw.
First half for France.
Amir on the red carpet drawing the first half. The golden rule, of course, Daniel, is the one that says that 4 out of the last 6 in every semi-final, I think always, at least 4 out of the last 6 have qualified. Last night, only 2.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who bets and therefore kind of likes to study the form, follow patterns. This rule that 4 from the last 6 of every semi-final have qualified since 2009 has previously stood me in good stead. I've followed it and it's influenced how I bet, and that's been a good thing. This year, not so good, because yesterday only 2 from the last 6 qualified. And as I say, Iceland was a big shock. Not qualifying, and Bosnia a lesser one, and they were both in the last 6, and that wasn't enough to save them.
So do you think that it's getting less and less important? Maybe also because the juries are now involved?
I do think it's getting less important for 2 reasons. One, that you've just mentioned, the juries. And secondly, the producer-decided running order means what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to give every song a chance to breathe by putting something contrasting around it. So you don't get that problem where you might have 3 ballads.
4 ballads in a row.
Which if you're on early and you're surrounded by similar songs, then that's going to bury your song. So the fact that your song is given a chance to sort of stand out, no matter where it is in the running order, has changed that your chances, and it's changed the nature of those statistics.
How about you, Giel? I know you're not a Eurovision fan or expert or anything. Do you think it matters for a song like the Netherlands, for example, where in the running order?
It always. I work at the radio, so if making a playlist is like it's like art. It's and the difference how a song feels when another song you played it therefore or thereafter, it's so big. So of course it's important. And well, yesterday I thought the balance was pretty good actually in show, in kind of music. So I don't know. You guys think no better, but I don't know if this is all by coincidence. But for me, it sounded like a well-made playlist.
It's not a coincidence anymore. It's of course now. It used to be a draw, a complete draw from every number.
Oh, now it is.
Now it's you draw first half or second half, and then the producers, as you just mentioned, try to give every song a contrast.
Oh, that's a good thing.
At the beginning, when that rule was discussed, many fans were saying, "Well, now it's going to be all unfair because you can put songs wherever you want." But the way you just described it, doesn't this actually make the contest fairer because running order is less important now?
I'm in favour of it. I'm biased because, of course, it means if I bet on something and I think it's going to win, under the previous system, that they could draw out number 2 in the running order in the final, and that would be a disaster. And in fact, we had a famous example when Safura for Azerbaijan, with the very fancy drip drop, drew out number 1 in the running order. So for me, it works on that level. I also think it makes sense on every level. It makes sense for it as a TV show. It makes sense for it as a playlist. As you said, it allows the music to speak for itself more. It also means that we have a better idea of who has done well in the semi-final, because if you're winning the semi-final, producers are not going to be accused of sabotaging your chances of winning by putting you on too early in either half. So it actually, for me, provides a lot of good indicators about semi-final performance.
But I don't know if you can say if it's more fair or unfair, because it's always a decision what will be the first ballot after this great epic thing. And then somebody has to choose which ballot it's going to be. And, that's not so fair, of course.
You can always. It's almost like any other sport. You can never rule out everything.
No.
All right, so we're going to slowly round up. And can you guys tell me a little bit about how the rest of your week is going to look like? I know you're going home, right?
Yeah, but I'm trying to be there this Saturday. For like I said, for me it was the first time because of the fact I have this link with Douwe. And I'm really enthusiastic about the whole vibe, with all the talents, with the crowd. So somebody is arranging now.
So you might come back?
Yeah, absolutely.
And in the meantime, you'll be presenting your radio show back
tomorrow
in the
morning. There will be just a regular
make sure that everybody's going to watch the final with Douwe.
Absolutely, yeah, always.
How about you?
Well, I'll be analysing the second semi-final and betting on it, and I'll be particularly interested in the reaction to Ukraine's Jamala, which has been a revelation in rehearsals, but is a very difficult, interesting, artistic song. And I'm fascinated to see how it goes down with people watching it at home.
Right, so that's what these guys are going to do. Of course, we at ESC Daily will stay here in Stockholm at the press center following all the Eurovision news